And today we're back reviewing another game called 2D Cover Shooter. Hello, I will be working on a personal project game similar to Wild Guns on the SNES. And the first time I recorded this I didn't know what it was, so I searched it up, and it's kind of this shooter game with like a boss in the background, and in the foreground you have your players. And I imagine there was some sort of cover involved in that as well, seeing as in this game there clearly is. Attached is a rough demo I have so far, blocks shooting each other. This personally led me to believe it was more of an engine almost, or a extension rather than an actual game. It obviously could build into a game quite easily, but from my end it kind of looked like a extension almost, not quite a thing. This will be my first time putting in more than a week to make a game, giving myself until the end of the year, then dropping the project. But I also want to get more involved into the community, which is brilliant. Arrows to move left and right, pretty simple controls. Left mouse button to shoot, mouse to aim, blah 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 blah. What I did notice just now, which was really weird, is that the game is made for Windows. However, you're clearly running it on a Mac, which doesn't make much sense to me, but anyway, we're gonna just give it a run. So you start off like this, and if you're anything like me, you'll probably just run this and then die instantly, because you don't realise the controls and you lazy and forgot to read them the first time around. So you just die, and it goes game over, and then you realise, hang on a second, I'm not actually dead yet, because the life system seems to glitch out a little bit. So it kind of seems to jump between 0 and 60 or something, I don't know, something like that, whenever you get shot. And it's really odd, because it actually means we can just sit here and our score still goes up, which is not intentional, I presume. Anyway, we're going to restart. One thing I did notice about this as well was the AI isn't the most intelligent, because I can kind of just like sit here. If you sit underneath and strafe, then you'll most likely dodge them. You don't even need the cover, making it pretty useless. I don't know if we stand behind the cover, we kind of get this invincible bit for a bit. I guess that's kind of useful, but you know, most of the time it's not essential. One thing I did notice straight away, which was a bit weird, was the lines in the middle of the screen was a little bit peculiar. The next thing I noticed was that if you have, in certain occasions, you can have like 2 separate rounds out at once, so they're shooting 3 in a row, right? Now if, there you go, you see that? Another one spawns in mid-round, and it kind of, like, it goes over, almost, so yeah, there we go. We're just going to pretend it stopped properly. No, it kind of keeps going, the round that they just shot, even though they've dissipated. So maybe wait for the next one to spawn in until that round's cleared from the screen. Yeah, the AI isn't the most intelligent. I'm not great. So you can just kind of, if you get the timings as well, especially, you can just kind of sit and then move, and then, I mean, the fact you can move while shooting as well makes this kind of obsolete, because you can just strafe like this. One thing I also noticed, and I'll just try and show you what's behind cover, is that, well, not this cover, because that cover is awful. When you shoot, it doesn't actually shoot in the middle of the cursor like most of the time. There's a rare occasion somewhere around here where it does. But for the majority of the time, you can see there it's kind of skimming the top of it. And once you get around like certain angles, it gets to the point where it's barely even there. It's nowhere near it. So you can definitely see that there's an issue there. You can see there you can't shoot downwards, which is, I guess it's not really a huge problem at the moment, but because you're only shooting upwards. But if you were to do it any further, you know, it's not brilliant to have. It's probably something to fix. Another thing I noticed, which was a little bit peculiar, was the cursor seems to be on top of some things but behind others. So for example, it's in front of the player, but it's behind the enemies, and it's behind the game over screen. It's behind these lines. I don't know if it's behind this because I can't really tell. So yeah, there was a few weird things with the cursor. I did actually quite like the impact animation though. That's something that's quite nice to see, and the explosions and stuff. It's pretty nice to see. I quite like that. But obviously it does something else. It would be really nice to see it turn into a Wildlands kind of remake, because that game did look quite interesting. And yeah, it definitely has that solid foundation. It just needs to iron a few little things out. And then it'll be pretty much good to go, I think. You just, well, once you've added extra things on, of course, so some sort of story maybe, better graphics, something extra, just to make it not just an engine. But other than that, that's going to be my review of the 2D cover shooter. If you like this video, remember to like, subscribe, or what do you guys want to do, and I'll talk to you in the next one.